I know you said you think it's the right thing. I don't. I know you came
Why?
in this morning.
Why?
Because he hasn't been active. Now, I get it. I get that you came to my office.
How active was Leon Edwards? Who cares about how many fights
But
he's
that
won?
wasn't Leon Edwards' fault. Welcome to Inside the Distance, a combat sports show that's on the clock discussing all things MMA, breaking down the top 5 fights on the next card, our favorite UFC DFS plays, and our best recommended UFC wagers. My name is Anthony Basilio, a.k.a. Bush, and this is Mike, the MadLab Ayarado. We are from the MadLabMMA.com, one of the most trusted sources in MMA DFS and wagering. As a member of the MadLab, you get full breakdowns with finishing predictions for every fight on the card, our recommended DFS plays, our wagers, private members-only podcast, members-only live stream on fight day, fighter messages for every fight in our private Discord where we all watch the fights together and have a great time. Now, if you guys don't know MadLab, he's the best in the business. He's hit on over 60% of all his fight predictions over the past decade. You want to try us out? There's a link down in the description to get $20 off your first month. Last thing, we're from New Jersey, so we work off of the gentleman's code. That means we'll give you a good show, we'll give you DFS plays, we'll give you wagers, but you got to subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and throw us a comment. That's all we ask, all right? Cool? Deal? Awesome. Now, here's how the show works. We'll have 3 minutes to discuss every fight on the card and 5 minutes for the main event, all right? So, before we start, Mike, let's talk about last week's card briefly.
Fun
card. What did you think of the decision?
I got a couple. There were a couple controversial decisions on this card.
I didn't think that. Well, yeah, I guess that was.
I honestly listen. It was a great fight, but I did score the fight for Fiziev in the co-main. I did. I really did. I mean, it was. I have no problems.
I gotta watch it again.
I have no problems with the decision.
Gaethje fucking worked him in that third, bro.
He did.
Those uppercuts were brutal.
He did, but what people also
Fiziev was wearing it.
He was wearing it, but here's the problem: the body shots. People aren't factoring in the body work that Fiziev put in because there's not you're not
especially early on.
You're not looking at visual damage.
Early on, he did a lot.
You know
of
what I mean? So like
work,
he did a lot of good. And those, bro, he was throwing everything with like a lot of loaded up power.
I still think
the
guy's a legit.
Oh yeah, dude.
Contender.
I mean, listen, I take nothing away from Gaethje. I have no problems with the win for him. So don't think for 1 second I'm sitting here arguing.
Yeah.
I don't have no problems either way. But I did score it slightly for Fiziev. I just thought that they discounted his body work a little too much in that fight.
A little bit. I just thought that third round is. I knew after that third round.
Yeah, he was hitting him with those, clipping him with those cuts.
Yeah, blood pouring out of his eye. That was awesome. What'd you think of Leon and Vittori? How about the Vittori decision, bro?
I thought that was the right decision, dude.
I thought we were on the. I thought he lost, but I wasn't gonna argue either way. It wasn't that kind of like I was like,
You know, because when you got two guys that are fighting and it's that close, that's when you start going to the minor things. You start going to the pressure. Yeah. He was the one that was pressuring the whole fight.
He was.
You know what I mean? So I had no problems with that. You know, there was a couple people that were complaining about the Santos fight, Santos and Leon Murphy.
See, I missed that fight.
I don't know.
I missed that fight.
I don't know where the argument is. I mean, was it a close fight? Yeah, it was a close fight. Did Santos fight better than expected? Yeah, but at the end of the day, you got to do something with those takedowns.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So Leon Murphy came on strong. Maybe he got a little bit of a hometown tilt to the cap, but
what happened to Makayev's knee?
Bro, I've never seen something like that.
I missed the first 5 fights on the card on the prelims. More,
dude.
What happened?
He got knee barred. He got put into a knee bar. To the point where when you want to talk about a hyperextension, dude, like his knee. Did I send you the picture?
No.
His knee.
I just saw afterwards. I saw how swelled up.
Do you
his
remember
knee was.
back in the day before they came out with compound bow and arrows? They had the recurve bow.
Yeah.
Like they had a bend and that's the way his leg looked, dude.
He tapped out, right?
No, he won.
He won?
Yeah, Mokaev fucking submitted him.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, you didn't watch the fight.
He got out of that knee bar?
Yeah, he got it and he submitted him.
Because his knee was afterwards. I saw what happened to him. I didn't even know what
dude,
happened.
I don't know how the hell he escaped.
So he's still undefeated.
Yeah, well, bro. Yeah, when he got put into that knee bar, I was in the Discord. By the way, our Discord, the people that were in the Discord, like I know whenever I do my live streams, I tell you guys like, there's so many members that we have that like they kind of not go into the Discord. They want to say. This week, like the Discord was like names awesome. I've never even heard.
That's great.
You know, and I was in the Discord and I was going, done. Like there was no way he was escaping that knee bar, dude. Like as soon as he started cinching up,
guy didn't tap.
And he didn't fucking tap. And he even said, I heard it crackling. Like I heard things cracking and snapping. and he got out of it, bro. He continued to fight, and he ended up getting the submission. I mean,
Good for him, man.
What a tough kid,
Fucking
dude.
warrior, huh?
Tough kid.
All right, give me your real take on Edwards and Usman.
Listen, I got no issues with
I knew they were going to give it to Edwards if they were in London,
yeah,
bro.
they were in London.
And a close fight like that.
The only issue I do have with it, I have two issues. One of them's with Usman, and that's I don't know if he fell off a cliff that quick.
He was a little gun shy.
But he just did not look like himself. Like
he did not.
Even when he got a takedown, he wasn't able to keep him there. You know what I mean? Like I understand that Edwards improved his game and stuff like that, but you don't improve your game that much to the point where a dominant wrestler like that, who really patterned his career on that, I mean, up to a couple fights ago, that you're just able to nullify it like that. I think something with Usman was off. I had it as a draw. I don't know.
At that point in the third.
I don't know how people. Yeah, I had it as a draw. I have no problems with Leon Edwards winning the fight because at the end of the day, if that point wasn't taken, then you know obviously he would have won anyway. But the other issue I have with that, people giving Leon Edwards in that round is there were so many egregious fouls in that round.
Yeah. With
the fence grab and everything. What point in time do you say there's no more option?
I thought Leon lost that round.
I did too, but what point in time is there no option where you say, okay, we're going to take a point this time, but we're going to stand you guys up? But when's the point in time we go, we're going to also take a point, we're going to keep you down now?
That's the thing that fucked Usman up.
You know what I mean?
He was in, yeah.
Because then you're talking about a draw, definitely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he lost the position on that.
But why is it the judge's decision if they go, well, I took away a point, but I'm not giving you position? Why is that a discretionary call? Why isn't that a rule? That you take a point for a fence grab and you get
it should position. Be. It should. I think.
Why is it a judge's discretion to decide if you're going to put position?
It's the refs. It's the refs' decision.
I'm saying, why is it the refs' decision to decide if you're going to do the point and give them the?
A lot of people wouldn't even have pulled the trigger as fast as
that was the right. That was a blatant.
And he was fighting it. He was fighting.
But he was going down.
But he was fighting it. He was like, I didn't grab the fence.
Well, he just kind of did one of those. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is there's got to be a tier. There's got to be like something with an egregious foul where, yeah, that was so egregious that you're going to lose position and you're going to lose a point.
Yeah, both.
Lose
a point and position.
You know what I mean? Because at that point in time, what if it's a close round? Like,
what if you took him down and stayed on him the whole fucking round?
Then that's what I'm saying. Happened. That could have been the swing round, but would the judges have given it to him? Who knows? At the end of the day, he did fight well.
And he's the champ, and that's it.
I don't think it was a great fight. Like, I don't know, people thought that was a great fight. People were like, what a fight.
It was a lackluster fight.
It was a very lackluster fight.
He threw nothing but leg kicks the whole fucking fight.
But I do think there's something to be said about Usman was pressuring him like the whole fight. Like he was.
Tough call.
It's a tough call.
You're away, bro. You're in London.
I don't have him winning. I have it. I did have it as a draw.
And then you give him the hometown. He gets the
win. Yeah. I have no problems with the decision, but I personally, I scored it as a draw. Our biggest climax of the night was plus 425.
That was a nice call, bro.
We hit Hardy.
Yeah, that was.
We also had the entire Discord and on the live stream. I was saying it the whole time, and now I'll tell you guys the narrative on that. The narrative on that was, you know, I was telling people there is a narrative behind this. You got Macedo Hardy, who, you know, her husband is Dan Hardy, had the issues with the UFC, is now working for PFL as like a talent, you know, the head of talent, you know, whatever. You know, was in the building. It was kind of a revenge fight for him in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was kind of
you said it all week long.
It was all week long. I said, and like that line was just too high, too much value there not to take it. So we took that. We had her all over DraftKings. So we started the night great with that. We had a great night again, and we also hit a live bet with Vittori at plus. I hit it at plus 125, but I know a lot of people hit it at plus 160. For some reason, our books didn't get that, so we hit that. We ran great through the whole night, and then during the main event, we did the right thing. We hedged out. We did our math. We hedged out. We made sure we took a profit, and that's exactly what happened.
That's why you got to be in the Discord.
That's why I got to be in the Discord.
Right? You know, when we hedge out. So, all right, cool. Let's go. We have a card coming up. Great main event. Rest of the card is meh, but we're going to go through it right now. Okay, we'll start at the bottom. All right, Mike, give me the remote control. All right, we'll start with the first fight on the main card, Alex Perez versus Kape. And the clock starts now. Okay, Alex Perez, wrestler, 2 losses to Alejandro Pantoja and Davison Figueiredo. So, I mean, those aren't bad losses of two of the best guys in the division.
Pantoja will be champion soon.
And we're going to talk about that later, Pantoja Moreno. Then you got Kape, Kape, the favorite, -175. 3-fight winning streak. He came into the UFC, had that first loss, and then I think he was a little nervous, kind of put it together. He's got 3 decent wins. Zumagulov, Osborne, Dvorak. He had that one slow start where he lost it. He came in as a pretty hyped up guy, right? Now he's caught his stride. He's got sharp hands. He's fast. I didn't like him when he first came in. I saw that loss, and I didn't know why MadLab was a lot higher on him. And you said, I'm telling you, he's more talented than what he showed us. That's not him. You'll see why this guy came in as a hyped up guy. If he just settles down, he had the nerves going, and he did. And now he put together 3 straight wins. He's the favorite for a reason here. I think his striking is going to overdo Perez's wrestling, and I see Kape winning by a decision.
Yeah, the thing with Manel Kape is the UFC was buying into him too, because when you're coming in as the debut and your first opponent is Pantoja, that's saying something about what they think of you a little bit. He ended up losing that. No shame in that. Then he fights Nicolau, another super tough guy. He loses that fight. But even in those losses, it wasn't him. Coming over from Ryzen, this guy had sharp hands. He was fast. He was almost like a Mayweather, very flamboyant in there. You know what I mean? And he just stopped. Like for 2 fights, he stopped. And I was like, this is not him. He's trigger shy. There's something wrong with him. I don't know if it's the bright lights, the pressure on him, all the hype behind him. Now he started settling them down. He beats Ode Osborne. He beats Zumagulov. He beats Dvorak. He's starting to slowly look like the Manel Kape that we saw on Ryzen, And I just think he's going to continuously progress. Alex Perez, he's a good fighter, but he's a wrestler. That's really where it ends with him. You know what I mean? If he gets his legs going, he gets that level change, gets you to the ground. He's got a good smothering, game that will keep you there. But all rounds do start on the feet. So right out of the gate, Manel Kape is going to have a major speed advantage, much sharper hands. So as long as he can keep his body off that mat or work his way up, I don't see him having a problem here. I'm really high on Manel Kape in this spot. I actually think there is a upside for a possible knockout, to be honest with you. But I'm definitely going Manel Kape in this fight.
All right, well, what do you think about DK and the betting line here?
Well, the DK, anything over 89, everything over 9,000, under 9,000, I like. I always tell you guys, anything over 9,000, that's where people tend to go. They seem that's the no man's land, 88, 87, 89. So I don't mind him here. The 175, I honestly don't mind it.
Me either.
I don't mind that price at all. You know what I mean? I'm going to monitor it a little bit to see if there's some of the wrestling biters. With the wrestling game, we're going to write on him with the wrestling. But I don't mind that at -175. I don't mind him either side on DraftKings.
There you go. All right, next fight on the card. Andrea Lee and Macy Barber. Macy Barber. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Hit the clock. Macy Barber has a 3-fight winning streak now. She beat Jessica Evil.
I hate her, dude. What was that thing?
Evil.
Here we go, Evil. Here we go.
Oh, my God. So stupid. I can't stand her. And then she beat Montana De La Rosa, Miranda Maverick. That's a good win for her right there. So she put together 3 in a row now. She's young. She came in real hot. That fight against Miranda Maverick, though.
She lost that fight.
I thought she lost that fight, but the judges did not. And Maverick was pissed about that fight. But she's young. She is a dog, and she's tough. Andrea Lee's coming in at a plus 220 dog, which is way too much. I mean, she's proven to be a good fighter over time. I know she's been around for a while. Striker, grappler, has her ups and downs. She's diverse. This is a hometown fight for her in Texas, and she's got to get Barber to the ground for her to have a shot. Do I think she'll win the fight? No. Do I think she can win the fight? Yeah, I do. But I think Barber is getting her, even though that Miranda Maverick win wasn't her best performance, I do think she's starting to get her stride and getting her rhythm. I see her winning this, but I see her winning this close fight.
Yeah,
close decision.
I think Macy Barber is catching stride. Like you said, she's 1,000% catching stride. In the beginning of her career, when she first came in, I wasn't crazy about her because I think she had a lot of yes men behind her. Her father, nobody can beat her, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't like that. Like, you need to be humble.
Little too much confidence.
Little too much, you know what I mean? And, no matter how talented she is, at that age, you're still raw. You're still going to make mistakes. You're still going to get over-aggressive. You're still going to get overzealous. It's just the growing pains of life and fighting. When she fought with that injury and she bit down and she fought through it, that's when she proved a lot to me, because you could teach somebody skill, but you can't teach somebody how to be a dog.
Yep.
You know, she showed me that, okay, at least I know she's a dog, and now she needs to graduate to a fighter.
Was that the De La Rosa fight?
I
remember.
I think that was the.
She was hurt.
Yeah, I think it was the De La Rosa fight. Yeah,
I remember that.
And she ended up fighting through it, and they were asking her, "Do you want to keep going?" She said, "She tore something. I tore something." Remember?
Yep, I do.
So and she fought through, and that showed a lot to me. But
the toughness.
She is going to make her mistakes in the cage. The thing with Andrea Lee is this girl is a lifelong martial arts. You know, black belt in judo, black belt in karate, brown belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Like, she's got a very diverse game about her. She is only 34 years old. She is fighting in Texas, so this is her kind of home crowd here. And the way she loses her fights is when she gets bullied. She's not going to be, I mean, she's going to be, bulk-wise, she will be smaller than Macy Barber. Macy Barber is going to try to bully her, but the thing that I think can be the game changer here is her judo. I think if Macy Barber charges the pocket, like Macy Barber charges the pocket, then I think that's where Andrea Lee can kind of use that momentum and use her judo to kind of throw or get on top of her and control her on the ground. That's what I'm banking on this fight. I'm just banking on the smarter Andrea Lee capitalizing on the mistakes of Macy Barber. So I'm going to take a shot at the dog here. I
don't blame you.
I'm going to take a shot at the dog here.
Especially Barber starts swinging that air like that one fight.
Yeah.
That she can't find her range.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that if Andrea Lee gets her onto her back, I think that she's well-versed enough to keep her there, and I think she's well-versed enough on the feet to stay at least serviceable.
There you go. Plus 220 dog right there.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes open. So
keep
obviously 7,100 is a great price.
There's good value on her there.
Right. And Barber 9,100.
That's pricey. I'd probably stay away from that.
That is steep.
I would stay away from that.
All right, next fight on the card, we got Austin Lingo versus Nate Landwehr. Landwehr, you know, he's kind of a dick.
He is. I just don't like his personality.
I don't like him either, but you know what? He's tough. He fucked us last time we fought. We picked Klein against Landwehr, and Landwehr fucking worked him. Remember that fight?
Yeah.
We picked Klein. He's a dog. He's not really technical, but he's just a dog. He was proven, you know, he's proven the dog to be against Onama, right? He was supposed to fight Alex Caceres, right, last week.
No, this week.
This week. And Lingo was supposed to fight Ramos last week. Ramos missed weight by 4 pounds. So I said, fuck it, you guys are both ready. You've both been in camp. They matched up Lingo versus Landwehr. So good fight. But Landwehr's a minus 250 favorite, 9,400. You know, I just don't think that Lingo is a guy that's going to be around too long. His record is a little inflated. You know, he's not the kind of 9-1 fighter you would be like, oh wow, this guy's 9-1. I think Landwehr is a tough fucking guy. I don't like the guy, but he's fucking tough, and he proved it against Klein, proved it against Onama, and I think he's gonna prove it again against Lingo, and I think he's gonna win by knockout.
Yeah, I like you know, the same. This is like the same thing with Landwehr and Macy Barber. Like the same thing with him. I did not like him. I didn't like his personality. I didn't like how he was trying to sell himself. But when he fought David Onama, that's what turned me. I was like, this dude is a fucking dog.
Yeah,
like, this dude will fight.
Yep.
You know, and sometimes you can have a gap in talent, but if you have that dog in you, that's just that edge that you need. You know, and I'm not saying this guy's ever going to be a champion or ever going to be a contender, but in fights like this, in that middle tier of the division, these are fights that Nate Landwehr can live, almost like Jocko.
Yeah.
He could live in the division quietly, you know, and Nate Landwehr's their guy. He give you
hang around.
He'll give you exciting fights. Austin Lingo's a guy. I respect him. I respect anybody that steps in the cage. But if you really look, he came in, he lost to Yusuf Salal, he beat Kilburn, he beat Saldana. Okay wins, but nothing that you're really writing home about. When you get a guy like, you know, like Landwehr, who's beating a guy like David Onama, who was really touted to be a good fighter, showed some really good things in the cage. Ludovic Klein, who we just saw him last week, he had a very close loss to Julian Erosa, beat Darren Elkins. I mean, the guy has fought some dudes already.
Tough guys.
Tough guys. Like I said, so what he lacks in his skill, he makes up for a dog. So in order for you to keep up with him, you got to be willing to go into a foxhole with him. And Austin Lingo is willing to go into a foxhole with him, and that's where I think the issue is going to lie. Because I think when they go into the foxhole, it's going to be who's going to be able to dig deeper. I think Landwehr is going to be that guy. I think Landwehr is going to knock him out. However, I don't like that price tag. I would not touch that minus 250.
Or 9,400.
Or that, and at 9,400, I'd be very, very, very cautious on.
What are you afraid of?
I'm afraid of you. I don't trust him enough.
Yeah.
He's not a guy that you trust.
Yeah.
You don't trust Nate Landwehr. You know what I mean? I mean, can he come out and get a knockout right out of the gate? 1,000%. Am I expecting to? No. I think it's going to be something where he's going to have to feel Lingo out a little bit. And he's going to look for a spot, and I don't think it's going to be a war right out of the gate.
Nope.
So just be cautious with that. I mean, even be careful with parlays.
Next fight on the card, Holly Holm versus Yana Kutinskaya.
Kutinskaya. Well, actually, Yana Santos.
It's Yana Santos. She's Thiago Santos' wife. If you guys know who Thiago Santos is, he's got the fucking Thor hammer.
He's fighting in a couple weeks.
He's fighting in a couple of weeks, man. I thought that he beat John Jones on that one fight when he tore every
bone in his, every ligament in his body.
Still swinging. Yep. That was a great
Nobody
fight.
talks about that.
That was a great fight.
Nobody talks
he fought
about
through that shit.
They talk about what's it called? They talk about
Reyes.
No one talks about that fight.
Yeah, that was a good fight. You know? Holly Holm, man, she's 40 years old. She lost her last fight against Caitlin Vera, who's one of the better fighters in the division. But she's still in tremendous shape. She is on the wrong side of it, but a couple fights before, I think she won 2 in a row before that. And I think she beat Aldana, and she looked tremendous doing that. So we got to see which Holly Holm comes out. But I mean, she's always in great physical condition. Probably one of the best conditioned women in MMA. In MMA, period. Yeah. She's a big favorite here, -250. I'm going to go with Holly Holm, but I'm wondering which Holly Holm comes out on Saturday night. So I'm not picking her with a lot of confidence at all, and I'm picking her to win by a slight decision.
Yeah, this is interesting. A lot of people look at Holly Holm as like this it's a star, but at the end of the day, it's Ronda Rousey just wasn't that good. That's all it was. And I was saying that for years.
That changed her whole...
Eventually, somebody's going to come in that knows how to box and knows how to strike and can elude takedowns and it's going to knock her out. And she was the one who did it and completely exposed her. So that's where she got her elevation. However, this girl is a top level boxer before she came into MMA. She's got a lot of credentials behind her. She's always in shape. Standing up with her is not a beneficial thing to any woman in MMA. She's got too many tricks. She knows how to cut angles. She knows how to create distance and space. So anytime you get a stand-up fighter matched up with her, it's not a good thing for that other opposing fighter. The only thing you have to worry about here is that 40 years old going to catch up to her, almost like it possibly caught up to Usman overnight. I don't think so. I don't think this is a spot where it happens. I think Yana Santos, I don't want to disrespect her. Yana Santos is good. And like I said, she's had a rough road too. They fed her to the dogs, when she first came out, but then she beat Renault. That's the loss that bothers me. Aspen Ladd. You don't lose to Aspen Ladd, bro. You cannot lose to Aspen Ladd. I don't care what part of your career you're in. You cannot lose to Aspen Ladd. You lose to Aspen Ladd, I write you off.
She's out of the UFC.
So anyway. Unless Holly Holm completely fell off, I don't see her losing this fight. However, you got to be careful with a -250 on a 40-year-old, and
these lines are all over the place.
And you got to remember Holly Holm, as well as she fought against Aldana, and as well as she fought against Pennington, another tough. She's not an overall knockout artist. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful with that price. And at -250, like I said, you're banking on that 40-year-old age is not going to creep in. I'm going to say it's not going to creep in, but I would be very hesitant with the way you roster her and the way you play her on a wager.
All right, now we go to the main event. Great main event. We got 5 minutes here for this one. All right, Corey Sandhagen, Marlon Chito Vera. Marlon Vera is right here in Orange County, right in Newport Beach, right in the backyard. In fact, his son goes to school with my good friend's son, and my friend's been at Marlon Vera's house for little birthday parties, and he's just a fucking great guy, dude. When you watch his interviews and you watch the way he talks, he's just a real guy. He's a guy's guy. I love the way he talks. I love his work ethic. The guy's a hard worker. Corey Sandhagen, super talented guy. He was on a nice run, and then he had that loss to Jan where he got worked. He was pissed about that. And then he beat Yadong. He beat Yadong Song. That was a big win for Sandhagen right there.
That was the first time Yadong's ever been finished.
Yeah, and that was a great win. He crushed him, too, that fight. Now, back to Marlon Vera, man. This guy is on a great 4-fight winning streak. Cruz, Font, Frankie Edgar, Davey Grant. Dude, me and MadLab were talking about him. Like, he's such a slow starter. And because historically, he's been a slow starter. And, he's always like, in a 3-round fight, it's tough to pick him because he don't get going until, like, the middle of round 2. But then I said to MadLab, I said, you look that up because I feel like he's been starting out. I feel like he recognized that. He has some self-awareness, and now he's not starting that slow. And sure enough, the numbers show that it's actually the opposite of what we thought. It's Sandhagen that comes out slow. That takes a while to get going. And Vera, who's been starting out hot his last couple of fights, right? Man, I thought Vera was going to get a title shot. I thought he deserves a title shot. He's also not the kind of guy to be vocal about it and call for a title shot. He's patient. He's waiting his turn. He don't mind fighting the best in the division. And he's just a good fucking guy, man. He's right in our hometown. He's a plus 140 dog. I love the guy. I'm picking Marlon Vera to win a decision here against Corey Sandhagen, and hopefully he gets his title shot.
Yeah, I mean, you can't deny the guy anymore, right? So this is a kid who's 20-7. He's got
He's getting better.
8 submissions, 8 KOs, and a lot of people shit on him. They used to make fun of him, Marlon Vera, Marlon Vera, Marlon Vera. Now everybody's starting to jump on the Marlon Vera train.
On top of that, he beat O'Malley.
Yeah,
he was winning that fight.
Yeah, he beat O'Malley.
Injury or no injury.
But you got a guy here who just knows how to win. He's got great cardio. He's got one of the best durability that I've ever seen. Like, this guy's durability is insane. He's never been finished in 28 fights. The guy's never been finished. You know what I mean? So he's got a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that he really never uses. The one thing with Corey Sandhagen is he's not very hittable. He knows how to elude punches. He knows how to elude damage. Like,
he has those knees.
He's not very hittable, and he's very dynamic. I mean, he really is. He's a very dynamic fighter. He's long, he's rangy. The thing with Marlon Vera is Marlon Vera doesn't come in to attack. He doesn't really charge the pocket. This is a guy who also uses his front kicks. He uses range. He uses his legs to kind of keep you at distance and keep you at bay.
The teeps.
Yeah, and he gets better as the fight goes on. So when me and Anthony were talking about the punch stats, I was like, this bothers me a little bit, because he is a slow starter, and you can't really fall behind against somebody like Sandhagen, because if you do, he gets into his pocket, he gets into his groove, he starts getting dynamic, he starts dancing around a little bit, then it's hard to gain traction again. Well, when I did the numbers, I did 3 fights. I did 3 of each of their fights the first 2 rounds. So Marlon Vera versus Cruz, it was 9 of 32 in the first round, 19 of 53. Okay, not that good. Also, you got to remember he was fighting Dominic Cruz, who's kind of just all over the place. You know, the next fight versus Font, 57 of 100, first round. Second round, 52 of 100. Edgar, 35 of 45, 27 of 47. Good numbers. A lot more than I thought.
Yep.
You go to Sandhagen versus Yadong, 19 of 52, round 1, 21 of 52, round 2. Versus Jan, 19 of 52, 38 of 65. Versus Dillashaw, 15 of 25, 26 of 55. So to be in a striking perspective, Marlon Vera was the more active fighter.
I was surprised
for 6 rounds of 3 of those of 3 fights.
And this is a 5-round fight.
There's a 5-round fight. There's no doubt in my mind that the durability for him goes to Marlon Vera. There's no doubt that the grappling, if it goes to the ground, goes to Marlon Vera. It's the striking, it's the defense that is questionable here. But I'm going to go on the side of caution, and I'm going to say that durability is going to be the mainstay of this fight. If that fight gets close and they need to get into a pocket fight, it's almost like when what's it called, Garbrandt fought Munoz. And Munoz said, you know what, I'll go in the pocket with you because you're not going to knock me out.
Yeah.
But I could knock you out.
He stood right in the pocket with him.
And I think eventually it could be a dirty fight. So I'm going to go Marlon Vera by knockout.
By knockout?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to say he knocks him out in the 4th or 5th round.
Wow.
I think that's what I'm going to call.
I mean, Sandhagen hasn't gotten... No, he got finished by Aljamain. He got...
that was by submission.
That was by submission.
But I think that Marlon Vera has this power that gets... He just
Sneaky
gets
power.
better as the fight goes on.
And you know what? He never looks like he takes real damage.
No. Well, he does get hit, though.
He gets hit, but he don't wear it.
But
remember how many times Fon hit him? And it looked like nothing was happening to him at all, bro.
Because he does. Like here, I'm looking at the stats here. So Marlon Vera throws 4.28. He comes back 5. So he actually, the differential, he's getting hit more than he's throwing. Where Sandhagen's throwing 6.15, he's getting back 4.21. So the differential
This is a great main event.
But this is a great main event.
This is like a co-main event pay-per-view kind of co-main.
But I'm going to say that Marlon Vera's durability is what's going to hold him into this fight in the beginning. And as the fight grows older and he starts dialing him in, I think he's going to knock him out. I'm going to say knockout 4th or 5th round.
I love it. I mean, I think DraftKings, you got to get a piece of this fight. No
both
matter
ways.
what.
Both ways.
There's going to be high volume here.
If you guys are on the Corey Sandhagen side, there's no way he's finishing him. There's no way he's finishing him.
He's never been finished.
So if you're on the Sandhagen side, you might as well just
bet. He don't really get hurt.
Sandhagen by decision. Because why lay him minus 165? Just go Sandhagen by decision. Because I'm going to sit here and tell you right now, he's not finishing Marlon Vera.
Yep. There you go. DraftKings is good. Pricing is good on both sides, I think. I think it's where it's supposed to be. Even the line, I don't mind it. I like Vera. I'm going to put a little Put a little couple units on Marlon Vera to win. Maybe by knockout.
Yeah, if you guys want the full bet pack and you want the full blueprint, the MadLabMMA.com. We've been doing really good over there.
There's a link in the description. $20 off your first month. Go grab it.
Overall, over 60%. This year, we're well over 70%
on the picks.
You know, for 2023. So definitely come on over and check us out. You'll get the full blueprint. You'll get the private podcast. We get the live stream before the fights. You get the full breakdowns, the way everything. I mean, DFS, anything. Now we have the link to a downloadable CSV file where you can upload to your projection models. So we're all well equipped and ready for you.
All right, we'll do a little hot take, and then we'll do the dog pick of the week. So I want to talk to you about this whole Colby Covington getting the next title shot. I know you said you think it's the right thing. I don't. I know you came in this morning.
Why?
Because he hasn't been active. Now, I get it. I get that you came to my office.
How active was Leon Edwards? Who cares about how many fights he's won?
That wasn't Leon Edwards' fault. Colby.
But this isn't Colby's fault.
Yeah, but Colby's saying he signed, I signed, he didn't sign. That's him saying that. You know Leon Edwards. Fights were booked. Then the eye poke happened with Bilal. And then fights were booked. And then, like, legit signed COVID shit happened. Colby's just saying what Colby says. So do you take for a fact that, oh, I signed 3 times and he didn't want to fight me, and then I signed this, he didn't want to fight me? I don't believe him.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm playing devil's advocate. That's what I'm doing.
Now you got a guy like Bilal Muhammad that's won 8 fights in a row. He was a dog against Brady. He fucking crushed Brady. Not crushed him, but he beat Brady at his own game. Love to watch that. He deserves a shot. Gilbert Burns, I think, deserves a shot like anybody else if he beats Masvidal. Masvidal, Leon Edwards never happened.
Okay.
Right?
But why should Masvidal even be in the conversation?
Maybe
he lost 3 of his last 4.
Maybe not Masvidal.
And he got destroyed by Covington.
Maybe not Masvidal. But I don't like that Covington's been sitting on the sidelines for a year and a half and goes right into a title shot. I don't know. I don't think that's the right thing to do.
All right. Well,
why not give Bilal a shot and then let Colby fight somebody else? And then if Colby wins, he gets a title shot.
All right. Well, there's your way, there's my way, and there's the way. And this is a business, dude.
Yeah, they don't care.
This is
they brought John Jones in after 3 years and goes right to a title shot.
This is a business, dude. And at the end of the day, it's what makes money.
I know.
And for people using the narrative that Leon Edwards is a gate seller, you're wrong. The reason why this thing did $9 million. Why did this fight do $9 million, but the fight before Edwards and Usman 2 did $4.2 million?
Why? Because of London.
No. Not solid that. It's because of what happened in fight 2. The magical kick. The magical kick against Usman, who was ranked to be the best. Now the rematch is going to happen. There was a story behind it. If that fight didn't happen and Usman won that fight, or Usman lost the fight, or he ended up getting stripped of the belt, and then Leon Edwards was fighting for a belt. He was fighting somebody else for the belt. You think that would have done $9 million? That story played into that $9 million gate.
If they in London?
I'm just saying the story played into that gate.
It did.
Of course it did.
It did.
Okay?
At the end of the day, Leon Edwards won fucking 12 fights in a row, bro.
I'm not saying he wasn't deserving.
Last time he lost was
I'm not saying he wasn't deserving of the shot.
Yeah.
But why the hell is now, all of a sudden now, all of a sudden he's a seller when nobody mentioned Leon Edwards' name once. Never made a headline. He barely did interviews. Nobody mentioned his name. Now,
he's a quiet guy.
But now all of a sudden he's this big pay-per-view star? Come on, dude. The fact of the matter is Bilal Muhammad can't sell a fucking ice cream cone in Giant Stadium. That's number one. I respect him. I think he deserves a title shot in the actual world. And if anyone ever clips this and gives this to Bilal, which I doubt they will, but the fact of the matter is, Bilal, you do deserve a title shot. Just like Pantoja is going to finally get his thing. Like so many other fighters. But the fact of the matter is he doesn't sell, dude. He doesn't sell. This kid, Colby, is the modern day Chael Sonnen, dude.
Yeah.
He's the modern day Chael Sonnen. Wasn't a great fighter, but he got his foot in the door. He sold a fight, and they gave him fights. Why? Because they used to say it all the time. He talked his way into another fight. Dude, the shit that this kid is saying about John Anik, and the shit that he's saying about Chimaev, and the shit that he's saying.
Colby.
Bro, Kobe's calling he's calling Bilal a racist, which Bilal did himself no favors by tweeting that.
Yeah, I know.
When he said because he's white. Okay, so you did yourself no favors by tweeting that. And then deleting it makes it look worse. You know, so that's number one. Number two is when you're looking at a guy like Colby Covington who's got balls, bro, with John Anik. I mean, he's talking.
What did he say about John Anik?
He was calling John Anik, you're supporting a racist. This and that. And he's saying, you live in Florida, I live in Miami.
I think he's getting the title shot because he came in there last minute, dropped 18 pounds.
I don't think that's the reason why. Because, listen, this was a plan, dude. You don't just say, listen, bro, you're going to come. People were saying that it was for the Masvidal thing. They'll say, listen, if you drop the charges against Masvidal, we're going to give you a title shot.
That's it.
That never happened.
No way.
That never happened. They gave him $20,000 to come and cut weight. That's what they gave him to come and cut weight. Okay, maybe he did think. Maybe there was really something wrong with Usman's knee, or they really thought there was a. But there's no way that just because of that, they said to him, look, bro, you come and cut. Because they could have did that with anybody. They could have did that with anybody. Why'd they just choose him? Because he was the only one who said, "Listen, I'll fly out for $20,000. I'll fly out."
Maybe they did call a few people and they said no.
But that's what I'm saying.
Still got to make weight.
You still have to make weight, and apparently he lost 18 pounds in one day. I don't know if I believe that.
In one day.
Well, he said he was with Trump.
Yeah,
and he was eating a buffet that weekend.
Yeah, no,
but the fact of the matter is, guys, this is a fucking business, dude. This is not the feelings game. It's a money game. And years ago, Mayweather said it perfectly. If it makes money, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And Colby Covington makes money because he makes everybody hate him. He's got Leon Edwards. He calls him Leon Scott. He's got Leon Edwards hating him. He's got Anik hating him. He's got Gilbert Burns hating him. He's got Chimaev hating him.
Calls Chimaev cum shot.
Cum shot Chimaev. He's got everybody hating him. So this is a kid who literally, whether you want to believe it or not, he's going to be champion. He's going to get the fight.
I think he beats Edwards.
He's going to kill Edwards. I really do think he's going to destroy Edwards.
Who beats him?
I don't think anybody beats him.
Yeah.
For a while. I think Rakhmonov is going to be a fucking tough out for him. If Rakhmonov and Bilal fight and Rakhmonov gets by Bilal, I think that's going to be a very tough fight, dude. A very tough fight because I'm starting to really buy into Rakhmonov.
And where does Chimaev play into this whole thing?
Chimaev screwed himself, dude. Because apparently what Colby said, like I said, this is what Colby said. I'm not saying, but this is what like the outlets were saying. Apparently, like that was all lined up. Like he just had, they gave him Nate Diaz. He weighed in 7 pounds, whatever. He kind of blew his deal.
If he would have weighed in, beat Diaz, they would have given Colby next, right?
Possibly, maybe, you know, there could be a lot of issues why Colby's getting the fight. But do I agree that he's 100% deserving to get the fight? No. In the real world, who deserves the fight? Bilal.
Yeah.
But from a business perspective, it makes 0 sense.
It's a bigger fight, yeah.
Makes 0 sense.
Business-wise, more money, Colby.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. Last but not least, let's do a Christine's dog pick of the week. And there you have it. So, sick main event. Card, not so good. But, man, Vera Sandhagen's a great fucking fight. Again, you know where to find us. Look below in the description. There's a link that goes right to the checkout page. $20 off your first month. And we'll see you on Saturday night.